And we're live. Hello.
Hello. Hello. There he is. What's this? What's going on over here?
Hair's getting funky.
Sorry. I don't like this light, Mia. It's bright.
But it's not enough light otherwise. Hello.
Hey.
I need to
Hey, y'all.
make this bigger.
Do I normally have
Warren.
an advisor? Hey, Warren.
Hello and welcome to another episode. Nice.
Thank you, Warren.
Thanks, Warren. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Mom's here. Carly M.
Hi, Carly.
Hi, guys. Look at that. Is that a dog? That's a little dog.
I can't see
Oh,
anything.
you can't see that. That's a little dog. I believe.
I don't have my glasses anywhere.
Fantastic.
Where's my glasses?
Do you need them to see this? Can you see this?
That's a little fuzzy. That's a little fuzzy.
Huh.
I left.
If only it were that simple.
Let me see. Oh, that's a cute little dog. Looks like a Yorkie or something. Arizona Homestead Project.
Oh boy, Warren's still out.
You're in
trucking
Wisconsin?
around, I guess.
Sheboygan.
Yeah, my little Yorkie.
Oh, I was right. My glasses were.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like if you wore them, you'd be able to see things.
Well, normally you make the what do you call it? The words big.
I did. They're big. What do you mean?
Everything is blurry to me.
Look how big that is. How's that?
Oh yeah. I still can't see the tiny pictures though.
Well, it's still pretty small, yeah. That's even tough for me.
Put this on.
Let's check it out.
Brian has just discovered that. Look at your eyes. Look how big. Look how Milton. You look like Milton from The Office.
So, what I'm finding is first thing in the morning.
It's finally happening.
First thing in the morning, everything's blurry. If I try and look at my phone early in the morning, it's blurry. But right now, in the middle of the day, no problem. But yeah, in the mornings.
Me in the morning, I need about an hour before I can even open up my eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a pair of those.
My eye is better though. What do you think?
Is it better? Is it better?
Oh
yeah, finally. Yeah, it's a lot better. It's barely there.
My eyeball's barely there.
I told you it would go away.
My eyeball went away.
So we've got 6 people, but only 4 thumbs up. Wait, does that count me? Can I give a thumbs up?
Don't worry about it.
Am I missing something?
Don't worry about it. We'll do it later.
We'll do it live. And so it begins.
Yeah. Old age has finally hit Brian. Hey, Dave.
Paris, France. Wow.
Or David.
Welcome.
I was thinking David T.
What time is it there?
David. I think it's nighttime in Paris.
Yeah, they'd be way ahead of us, right? Probably good 9-10 hours.
Thank you. You know what? In the morning it feels pretty good, but at the end of the day,
is it like 4 a.m.?
It's still kind of red.
I don't speak English.
Uh-oh.
I don't know any French, unfortunately. We know some Spanish. That's too bad.
Buli muku
No. No.
Ude buku
No.
she
It's night.
Oh,
it's night?
Seshwa.
I would think it'd be early morning. Anyway.
It seems like he's speaking English.
There might be some translation going on.
Merci beaucoup.
Buckets. LOL. Okay, so
Merci, that's all I know.
I don't want to start like immediately. Well, I guess it's only 6:03, but I don't want to have to repeat a bunch of things, but maybe I'll still give it another minute.
People are filtering it.
Just hi.
Don't worry. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So there's a lot of things happening.
It is early morning. That's
We
what I
were
thought.
supposed to be, can I go ahead and say, we
Sure.
were supposed to be picking up the straw bales today.
This morning.
But
it
was canceled by the feed store canceled. Yeah. So now we're picking them up mañana.
Hopefully. Tomorrow morning. It was supposed to be this morning. We should have had 120 bales sitting out here right now, but not yet. So hopefully tomorrow.
Yes.
Well,
I thought I filled this up.
So yeah, we officially ordered our bales. They actually were able to get a hold of them a lot faster than I thought. I thought they'd need 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. And I think I called late last week, maybe Friday or something. And they said, exciting. They said, how about Wednesday? And I was like, this coming Wednesday? Yeah, I thought it'd be 2-3 weeks. But yeah, so it was going to be Wednesday until I guess they called us yesterday, I think, yeah, and moved it back a day. They said it was their supplier guy changed it. So New Jersey,
hello,
43 and cloudy.
Man. Common man. Hey there. What is your name?
You asked that last time. I think it's Tom.
Hi, Tom.
If I remember.
Okay, I'll try to remember it this time. Tom.
Because that's my dad's name.
Right. Which he should
What is it here? On. So it was what did we get to? It was cooler today because of the wind. I think we were about 66 or 7. You'll have that house up in no time. Yeah.
He's having some issues.
So yeah. So another thing happened today. I got a little bit of a scare. I think it's going to be okay, but something, there it is, Tom, I got it. Something, a little bit of a surprise, but I think it'll be all right. So I've been trying to get our plumbing, or at least our, just our main wastewater line to come out of the house and to the septic, because, as you build, there's a few things you don't want to, I am pushing some things off, but there's a couple things you need to think about, especially while you're dealing with the foundation, because you need ways in and out, right? Potentially. So one of them is you have to be able to get the wastewater out, and that's generally done underground. So while I was putting these tires in place, I was like, wait a second, I need a pipe coming out of here. So I've been talking about this a little bit, but so I did this past week, I went out multiple times to, Lowe's, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, to try and talk to people who I thought would know more than me about this stuff. And unfortunately, I mean, maybe you won't be surprised, but maybe, I don't know if you'll be surprised or not, but it seemed like everybody I talked to, even in these stores where it's their job, they knew less than I knew, unfortunately.
It's not really their job to know about plumbing.
Well, some of them are. I mean, if you're at Home Depot and you're in the plumbing, department, they should know something about plumbing. So
yeah, but I'm sure.
So anyway, I was on the fence.
You should have expected that.
So I was on the fence for a while about. So let me back up and explain. I don't think I've explained this already.
Oh,
so
no.
Our existing connection. Well, you can jump in if you want, but I think this is kind of all we have to talk about. This was the main thing this week. Number one, we thought we were going to have bales today, but we don't. But we should have them tomorrow. And then the other thing was this plumbing stuff, because to make the next step in our build, which is to backfill a bunch of stuff. Actually, I'm going to do some more tire work, but that tire work has to be done around this pipe. So that pipe has to be kind of in place so that I know where it's going to be before I put the tires in position, and before I do any backfilling of dirt. That pipe's got to be there. So I've been thinking about this for a while, and I just ate. Sorry. Hey, Bill and Yvonne.
Hello.
Hello there. So just as a little background, in case I haven't covered it, I don't think I have. So we had a septic.
Hey, Don.
A septic setup.
Actually, it's 4,000.
4, Don. That's right. We just hit 4,000 about a week ago.
That's an extra 1,000.
Thank you. So we had an existing septic system here when we bought the property, so it was done previously at Home Depot. They should know about the respective. Yeah, see, Bill knows.
They
Bill worked there.
should.
That's what I thought. So, so what's in the ground now? So all I know basically is the connection that we have now is, you know, what we plug the RV into, the RV waste, you know, hose into, and so I dug down from where that is to where it elbows 90-degree elbow over to the septic tank. So just to see, because the idea is I'm just going to cut that elbow off, change it into a T so it can still go up for the RV connection, but so that it can continue on to the house. And I'll put a bend in there to kind of kick it over a little bit and everything. So the question was, you know, what you know, sizes, materials that you would use to do this, right? So what's there, maybe Bill can help me. He might have worked in the plumbing department. Maybe he'll be smarter than the people I dealt with at Home Depot. But so what's there now is 3-inch PVC. I know it's PVC because it's white. ABS is black. I know it's 3-inch because I looked at it. It actually says 3-inch on the fittings. The pipe will say it too, but I can only see a certain amount of the pipe. So I actually can't see it written on the pipe, but I can see it on the fittings. On each fitting, they put on the edge of the fitting, they put the inch size. Oh, Bill ran the plumbing department. Okay, so we're going to test Bill out here. So what I have is 3-inch PVC existing. I don't know for sure, but I have a strong suspicion. I guess I won't know till I cut it, I guess, but I believe it'll be Schedule 40. I don't think it's anything else. And if anybody knows plumbing, hey, feel free to shout. So I'm just explaining what I understand here. So I'm pretty sure it's Schedule 40, which is just a, you know, a kind of a thickness. Well, is it good PVC with the heat of the sun? So this is all underground, keep in mind. So none of this is exposed. So that's not an issue. So David asked if PVC was okay with the heat and the sun, but this is all underground. So I was trying to figure out whether I should use, you know, I actually thought that these things were supposed to be done with ABS, but with a little bit of reading, I think it can be done with either ABS or PVC. Schedule 40 rocks, also Schedule 80. So Schedule 80 is thicker. So I was trying to make that decision of whether to use PVC or ABS. You'll know from the OD of the pipe, outer diameter. So, oh, maybe I should just check that. Anyway, so I had trouble finding, so I went to a couple different places, right? And actually at Lowe's, they actually stopped their PVC, their Schedule 40 PVC at 2 inches. They didn't even go any bigger. So it's like, I couldn't even get it. And they didn't have the fittings. They only had the thin wall fittings, and their Schedule 40 only went up to 2 inches. It didn't go any bigger. So I was like, well, you know, I can do ABS. You know, from a little bit of reading, I read that you can transition from ABS to PVC. Go and in AZ, it's code and readily available. Go and in AZ.
Go in. Arizona.
It's code. ABS. Oh, so anyway, I did decide to go ABS. Oh, he says go ABS in AZ. It's code and readily available. Got it. Okay, so I actually did end up at ABS. So I think this was a couple days ago that I made the purchase. Right, I got the amount, I got the length I needed of just straight pipes and the couplings that attach them, and I got a T to replace that elbow so that I could still come up for the RV attachment, and I got a little elbow bend to kind of, because the angle changes a little bit to kind of kick off towards the house, and I got a cap that I would put kind of at the house. So I got a cap that I would put in the house, and so I would just cap it off for now and stake it, you know, so it's there. But the point is, you got to get it there, and then you cover it up and everything. Bill did as well. Well, okay, then I've got a question for you, Bill, a code question, and I made a phone call to kind of, I don't think I made the phone call for this reason, but I called one of the Cochise County people to ask a question. Actually, the question I asked, we might be unique in this sense because, again, we had a septic system here already when we bought, and we did kind of, when we drew on our site plan. You know, we put where our house is going to be, and it's still there, at least in that general vicinity. But as I just explained, I have to extend kind of the connection that we have. Can you read these? And if somebody asks a question, stop me. But or says anything I should address. So we had an existing system there. So the question I called to ask was, you know, we have this opt-out permit, which is great, right? And when it comes to the house, they generally don't even care really what goes on inside. They care about setbacks and all this stuff, right? But I thought, well, this is plumbing and this is outside and this is kind of before the house. So I just want to make sure, and this is one of those things that if you were building a normal house and doing normal inspections, this would be one of those things that they'd want to see before you covered it up and all that. So I wanted to call and say, hey, I'm extending from where my septic connection currently is. Now I'm going to do it right. I'm going to maintain the slope that it needs and all that. But I said, does anybody need to see that? And the guy said, long story short, he said, he told me to call back basically to the main lady, the Debbie, that we submitted our paperwork to. And again, it might be different because we already had it existing, but he was basically telling me that I was going to have to submit, you know, some paperwork that said how many bedrooms I was going to have, how many fixtures I was going to have, and all this stuff. So I got to find that out, spit it out. Okay. So long story short, the real question that I now have, or what he told me actually, as part of this conversation, we kind of got to a couple other things, but I asked him about the transition from ABS to PVC because I was reading in the code, which I don't do real often, but I do when I have some question, I try and find that information. It actually says in the code that one of the connections that's not allowed is, my septic got signed off without the connection to the house. Okay.
That's good.
But one of the things it says in the code is that one of the joints that is not, they say it's prohibited, is a joint between what are the terms? Cement, a solvent cement joint between two types of plastic piping, different types of plastic piping. So for example, PVC and ABS.
Yes, he did.
I did. And maybe he didn't know that, the guy I was asking, so maybe he misunderstood. But the code does say that you can't make a connection, a cement solvent connection between two plastic pipes. And I asked the guy that specifically. I said, am I allowed to make that connection? And he said, no, you need to use, I don't know what the terminology for is. Bill might know, but it's more of a sleeve, right? It's like a rubber sleeve with pipe clamps around it, basically. So I don't know why that is. I don't know why that's prohibited, but I'm curious if anybody else knows anything about this or has had that experience, or Bill knows. So
do you, or do you not have to resubmit everything?
No. I think all he was saying was they needed to kind of verify that Fernco. Oh, Fernco is the name of the piece. Bill, do you understand that? Is that the way you understand it? That I actually need to use that piece? That I can't glue those two together if I make the transition? Anyway, I think maybe he was misunderstanding, and maybe that is already kind of signed off. And I see that Don basically said everything's signed off, and I don't plan to tell them anything. And I'm kind of the same way. Don't get me wrong, but I was afraid that if they came out and the house is in a position and the septic is in a position, they might ask the question, well, how did you get from A to B or something? And I'll say, it's all good, right? I followed the rules. And they might say, well, I need to see that. So I wanted to ask that question beforehand. Now, maybe he didn't realize that all that was already in my first submittal of paperwork, but typically you can make up to 2 transitions in a single line. By code in Arizona? Because, I mean, I read the section that said you couldn't glue them together.
Bill says
it wasn't
they
legal.
Signed off on his without the connection to the house.
Yes.
So what's the problem?
Well, that might be fine, but this is a different question I'm asking actually, is whether I can make this transition from PVC to ABS with a glued connection. And it looks like the code says you cannot. So that's why I'm asking specifically. And if a Fernco is the answer, then I'm fine with that. I just didn't know. I was going to glue these two things together, and it sounds like in the code that that's not okay.
What's a Fernco?
A Fernco is the name of the device, I believe. the little rubber gasket.
Oh,
It's the method. PVC glue is not for ABS, and vice versa. I understand. What they don't know won't hurt them.
That's
Oh,
okay
that
with
was
me.
David. Sorry, that said PVC glue is not. Yes, there is different cement for each of the types, and there also is actually a what they call all-purpose, I think, that's supposed to be for all of them. So yeah, and you need to apply a primer to PVC, and you don't apply primer to ABS. I get all that, but I'm saying specifically that the code basically says you can't make this connection. Oh, Fernco is a brand name of the
Hey,
device.
so the tires that go in the middle,
Yeah.
that you have to get level.
Yeah.
Could you go ahead and do those
I am
before the pipe?
I am working on them. So I am cutting basically a little trench because we haven't filled it yet. The ground on the inside of our outer
perimeter.
Our outer perimeter. We have that tire wall set up. If we backfilled it, it would all be flat, but we haven't backfilled it yet. So it's still within that wall. We're still at an angle. So to set the tires on the inside for the perimeter of the house, to set them level, actually some of them actually have to come up a tiny bit, and some of them have to go down in the ground a tiny bit to get them level. So I am cutting out kind of the path for those tires, but I cannot yet. I can't fill them yet because, and this is why that pipe has to happen. So that if that pipe isn't in place first, especially since it's coming through another, I hope everybody can visualize what I'm describing. There's kind of an outer layer of tires that is for the whole pad of the house itself. And then there's the inner layer, which is the actual perimeter of the tire. This pipe has to come in through both of those. So I've left a gap on the outer one, and I can hit that gap right from where I'm coming from at the septic connection. But after I go through that gap, I have to make it through another gap on that interior set of tires. And if I set that position kind of right now before that pipe is in place, I could be off.
Yeah.
So I would have to move. So really, I have to get that pipe laid down and all connected first, and then I want to put the tires basically up against it.
So the
on
answer
either side.
is yes. I said.
You said, "Can I do this?" And I said, "No."
Oh.
The answer is no. I cannot I cannot fill the tires until the pipe is in position. So, let me go back.
I think maybe he's worrying a little too much, or
number of fixtures and gray water piping, etc., is already on my paperwork.
They're not
I'm not planning on telling them anymore. They already approved my septic and water harvesting setup. So, yeah. Again, it's possible. It's likely, as I tend to do, that I'm making too big of a deal out of this. But the part that was very specific was that question about that transition between PVC and ABS, and basically the code says no. But I don't know how big a deal that is. I would have to buy that device, that Fernco device.
Do they sell that at Ace, or do you have to?
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean,
Tucson?
They might have them at Ace.
Sierra Vista.
Bill might know if they have them in town here locally, or Benson Lumber potentially. So anyway, that got me. This all just happened today, by the way, and I was like, I'm like this close to gluing all this stuff together because I got to take that. They make a special ABS to PVC glue. I'm aware it's green, but again, the code says now whether you care or not is another issue. But I am saying the code says you cannot make that connection with glue. It is illegal between ABS and PVC. That's what the code says.
Because it melts.
And that's what I'm trying to throw this out there. And you might say I don't care, but
do your tires?
The code says that.
Skip one tire where the pipe goes.
So we're not skipping a tire. We're actually going to kind of wedge the tires.
In between.
Yeah, it's gonna go in between them. So I'll just leave a 4-inch gap. It happens to be at the corner kind of our
where the two
of our perimeter, right? So yeah, where that corner happens. So I'm just going to leave a little gap in the corner for them to come through. Yeah, see. Thank you, Bill. They have it at Benson Lumber. So anyway, again, I might have made too big a deal out of it. I probably did, and you might not care. But again, the code says so.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian, sir. So Brian probably just looked it up. No glue, more like a coupling. Yeah. So they're saying not to glue that it's actually not allowed. So anyway,
Don't make a big thing out
Well,
of
I
it.
think the answer is the Fernco, and I think I may do that.
Okay.
So that's good to know.
But
that just hit me today. So
tomorrow we're going to be loading or he's going to go get the bales, and then we're going to unload them and put them under the carport.
Yes. So I also I have cleared a space under the carport. I might have mentioned this last week, but I've prepped it all. I put down tarps beforehand because the straw is going to be messy, of course. So I put down tarps beforehand. I put pallets on top of those tarps, and we will put the bales on top of those pallets, and we'll stack them as high as we can under the carport cover.
Are they going to blow away?
So that, well, we've had a lot of wind recently, as anyone around here can tell you. And
it's March.
And again, for the next couple of days, we're still supposed to have
big time.
But we'll stack them up pretty high, so we won't have to worry about rain on top of them, but it could blow in from the side. So I probably will wrap some tarps and use some bungees and or rope to kind of keep the sides covered with some tarps, just at the outer edges. I'm using kind of the middle bay of the carport, and whatever I can't fit in the middle bay, I'll put on the next bay over, but I'll try and keep them as far away from the edge as I can. But because rain can blow in there potentially, I'll probably cover the sides, but I shouldn't have to cover the top.
Do you see that? Make sure you get the right kind of fern coat.
Make sure you get the right kind of fern coat. Go to Ferguson and Sierra Vista and get the right advice. What's Ferguson? Plumbing store? Thanks, Bill. Sounds like that might be a plumbing store, and I will do that. So I think we're all prepared for the bales tomorrow. That should have been today, but hopefully that'll go smoothly tomorrow. Supply house. Okay. All right. Ferguson. Can you write that down?
Yeah.
Ferguson. So what else is going on? Anyway, that's why I'm a little freaked out about this because, yeah, like I said, I thought of this one question I wanted to ask. I wanted to just kind of make sure that I was okay doing something. And then I opened up the code and I read something and it freaked me out. And I asked that question and he said, yeah, no, you can't do that. So freaked me out. But again, probably, I agree that in most cases it's probably that
all right.
What they don't know won't hurt them. But for anyone who knows me, I haven't seen Craig on here yet.
Oh
but
my gosh.
I am known for getting caught for things that no one else would get caught for. So that I'd be the guy who they would ask, how'd you do this? How'd you do this connection? And I'll say, what do you mean?
And research.
So good to measure your pipes and research. Twice and glue once, sure. Actually, I missed Warren said, what about threaded pipe?
Customers say no for the
obviously,
transition of pipe because he thinks it's for your water.
The customers say no for the transition of pipe. He thinks it's for your water. So I'm not a piping expert, but Warren says, what about threaded pipe? I just don't think that in general, as you're running this line, I would think generally you'd be gluing couplings together. So I don't know. I mean, I know there is pipe that could screw together, but I don't think you'd be using that for this. So I don't think that's what you would do here. At least it's nothing I've ever seen, but I haven't seen that much. So that's what's going on. Plumbing, bales, and I want to get to work on the next set of tires. But like I said, if I fill a tire now and that position is off slightly, then for the transition. Oh, I don't know. Good question. I don't know. But it actually sounds like, I think Bill's right. I think the answer is that device that and I have heard probably from Bill, I've heard that term Fernco before, and it's the manufacturer name, I believe, but I still don't know what to call it might be shoot.
Don't worry about it.
The name for the device, but so that's what's going on. We've been super windy, of course, as again anyone around here knows. I think today, tomorrow, and the next day all have like the windy symbol on the weather. We're going to be,
it's going to go back to
20, 30 miles an hour, and we're going to cool off quite a bit. We might have one more.
Do you need cleanouts every so many feet?
I think what I read in the code was 100 feet. So
Ron says, why not stick with PVC? You can get it at Ferguson about 4.
That's a good question. And like I said, when I went to these places like the Lowe's and Home Depot and Ace, and I never did get a good answer, unfortunately. My first question was, since I knew I had PVC, my first question was, should I be using PVC or ABS? That's good. I wish I had known about Ferguson. I would have gone there instead. But that was my first question, was should I be using ABS or PVC? From what I saw, PVC was just harder to come by in those stores, and the fittings and everything. It was.
Bye, David.
It was much easier. Thanks, David. It was much easier to find the pipe and the fittings in ABS. So I just said, "Ooh, somebody speaks French."
Don, working out the French.
It was just easier to find the ABS. So I said, "Well, I'll go ABS and I'll make the transition." I did what I never do, which is make a decision, and and here we are. And it's like, well, maybe I should have just stayed with PVC. But if I had known about Ferguson, I guess that would have been way better.
They had no ABS in Savannah.
I sold only PVC at Home Depot in Savannah. We actually had no ABS. So yeah, it's like the other way around. Lowe's literally had no PVC in that size. Home Depot did, but again, the guy that I talked to there wasn't that knowledgeable. And even though they had the pipe, they had the PVC, they had 3 and 4, they might have had 4-inch as well, PVC Schedule 40, but they didn't have the fittings. They only had the thin wall fittings. So again, everything I saw just told me, well, go ABS. I know I can. I know it works. I'll make the transition. So that's where I'm at. And I've actually bought the ABS. So I don't know. I don't know whether it's worth kind of stepping backwards now or just getting that Fernco device or what. But it sounds like a trip to in a standard. A trip back to Ferguson sounds like it's in order.
So once we get the bales tomorrow, what happens after that?
Well, the bales are just gonna
they're gonna
wait,
there.
And they're waiting for us to fill these tires as the footer for the walls.
Okay. What did you just say?
Oh boy.
I was reading the screen, and I didn't hear.
Yeah, the bales. We're not ready for the bales just yet, but thanks, Warren.
Yes, thank you.
Fernco $6, great. Okay, so that's probably the answer. Since I already have the stuff, I'll do that. But again, just something I didn't know, and I pulled the trigger and didn't know.
Can you ballpark when the footer will be ready?
Again. No.
For the bales?
No, I'm not gonna. The
It'll
be ready when it's ready.
Is a black rubbery thing with a hose clamp on each end. It can have different sizes. It's size. Is it? Your mom.
I know my mom has seen these. I think in her yard. I think my mom has experienced some of this stuff in her yard. So.
Yeah.
Because she has a septic system
down the hill.
So anyway,
bye, David.
That's where I'm at. I thought I was real proud of myself for pulling the trigger on this stuff, and then I realized I had a problem. So,
oh well.
Well, it says, when can we move in? Asking for payment. So it really. So as you've seen,
hey, I'm excited. The bales are coming.
Shirley Price. That's called a union. So
union.
As you've seen, especially when the two of us go out there, the tire filling part, which is what has to happen before we can do the bales, it's actually not that hard. You just have to be ready. Things have to be in place to do it. So I would be out there filling tires today if I could, but like I said, I can't. That pipe has to be there first. So I have some great videos of how a total newbie learns plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to seeing those, Don.
So I will as well. So because that's where I'm at. So yeah, it almost blew my world apart today, but I think we're okay. I just I missed a piece, so it looks like I'll have to grab that Fernco. Maybe I don't know if I can run and get that tomorrow or not. But if you and I jump on those tires after the pipe is in place, it really won't take that long. Now I don't want to tell you it's going to be 2 weeks or something, because if 2 weeks comes and we're not there, then we're not there.
Wait, you mean 2 weeks until the bales go. I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
Yeah.
If I will be upset though if it's
So-
not happening in 2
so-
weeks. I just want to see the wheels are in motion. That's all.
The wheels are in motion. So anyway, a lot of plumbing talk there. So it sounds like we have a couple. I think a fern cone. Now that Bill said that, and he and I have talked about. I don't know why we've talked about that device before.
Are you going to stick?
Are you going to stick with 3-inch pipe or go up to 4-inch? Good question. So what's there is 3-inch. So that's what's from the existing, connection for the RV to the septic. So, I mean, I'm not going to change that. I don't think there's any reason to dig that up, but so I guess the question is, so it's about another 50 to 60 feet from this connection point to the house. So, I mean, I guess I could have, now again, I've already bought it. I bought 3-inch pipe. I bought 3-inch pipe, and so I thought about, I know you could do a reducer from 4 to 3, I guess, but I thought, well, what's the point of having 4 if there's a bottleneck of 3 at some point along the line anyway? I also thought, this is a 1-bedroom house, a 1-bathroom house. I didn't see us putting a real strain on this system. So I'm going with 3-inch, unless you yell at me and tell me I'm insane. So you can get a T with 2 4s and a 3. 4s and a 3. Oh, right. Okay. So the 3 that's existing and 4s. But anyway, I stuck with 3. So unless somebody out there knows that that's crazy, I'm going with 3. So that's the choice. How big?
Well, we go to the shed right now.
So
for those,
we're going with 3. So yeah, here's a question, Bill. Let's say I did choose to go 4-inch from the house to, I'm only doing the part that's up to the existing connection. So if I went 4-inch from there and it reduced down to 3 from the existing connection on to the septic tank, have I really gained anything? Or, I mean, it's just a matter of, does it matter whether it's 3 at the beginning all the way, or if it changes to 3 somewhere, isn't that really the same problem either way? Does it help me to have part of it be 4-inch? So I just, that was kind of my logic was, what's the point of having any 4-inch if it has to go down to 3-inch?
Terry and Michelle.
Terry and Michelle? Howdy, y'all. Northwest to
Howdy,
Southwest.
y'all.
Thanks for joining us. So
you didn't mention Brian. Brian said he wants to see more Baby Yoda paintings.
I missed it.
Right.
So yeah.
Right there.
FYI, most toilet flanges are 4-inch. Oh, good point. Well, again, not that this makes it the right answer, but I mean, you could put that. I assume you could make that change right at the top of the 3-inch pipe there, but
I want to tell Brian I'll do more Baby Yoda paintings if somebody wants them. I mean, if somebody buys this one or something.
So Pam did a painting today of Baby Yoda and filmed it and put a video out. So if anybody likes Baby Yoda, you can get a painting from Pam.
I just thought Baby Yoda was really cute, and I saw him. I saw a picture, and I wanted to paint it. So anyway,
for a reason.
It was fun.
They're 4-inch for a reason.
Big poopers.
Yeah. So I still, the question I have about the 4-inch versus 3-inch is, what's the point of having 4-inch if it has to go down to 3-inch at some point? Does that buy you anything? That's kind of my question. So again, this is, and I hate saying it, but this is the kind of stuff that stops me from moving, right? I made a decision. I picked 3-inch, I picked ABS, and it looks like maybe both of those decisions were wrong. So that's the kind of stuff that freaks me out.
You can take it back and return it. That's all you have to do, right?
I could take this back. I don't really want to, but I could take it back. I mean, if it makes sense, if there's a benefit to going 4-inch up to that point when it meets the existing connection, it goes down to 3-inch. If that is better for me, I'll do it. I just didn't see what the difference was, if it's 3-inch here or it's 3-inch here. Either way, it's got to become 3-inch at some point. So there's a bottleneck at some point, one way or the other. Yes, that is the story of my life, Warren. So
it's okay though. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You'll get what you need next time.
Open up your trench. I'll bet your septic tank has a 4-inch inlet. No kidding.
I thought you already opened it up.
Well,
right?
no, he's saying at the septic tank. What I've looked at is where we connect, you know, where the pipe comes up out of the ground so that we can connect our RV. And that for sure is 3-inch. Absolutely. It's 3-inch coming up, and it's 3-inch after the turn. I dug out past the 90 so that I could see it heading towards. So it is 3-inch at that point.
Wouldn't they have done
3-inch ABS is fine. You did good. Thank you, Tom. That's what I want to hear. Yeah. So maybe, I guess, you know, that's a question for Mike Goodman, I guess, the guy that installed it. I'm not sure why they used 3-inch, but they did. So, and again, this is a little bit of, I think we're a little unique in this respect, that the septic was already here when we got here. So we kind of, you know, we have what we have. I mean, I guess you could change some things, but most people are doing this from the start. I would think go 4, and that way if you ever have to replace or repair on the septic side, it's already 4 inches to that point. I don't know. Like I said, what is under the trailer, at least some distance, like I haven't dug up the whole pipe, but go big or go home. At least where we connect and where it bends and heads toward the septic, that is 3-inch. I know that.
Hey, so there is a pipe that sticks out of the ground out there and out in the leach field. There's a pipe out there coming out of the ground. So if you went out there and measured that, does that mean,
you know what, I wonder,
what it is?
Not for the leach field, but you know, that's an interesting point, Bill. You know what I didn't consider? I just thought of something. Is it possible that Mike Goodman installed something and the previous owner, who intended someday to build a house here, now he wasn't putting it where we're putting it, but still, maybe it's possible, and I wish I'd have thought of this, maybe it's possible that Mike Goodman didn't actually do the whole thing to where, because Mike Goodman did install this septic system. I have the permit and everything, but I wonder, it might say the pipe size on the permit. But anyway, I suppose it's possible, I wish I had thought of this, maybe the previous owner did something from a point where Mike left off and gave us this connection that I'm looking at right now that's 3 inches. Because I know, like I said, I can see this. It is 3 inches. And it surprised me a little bit. But maybe that was a decision maybe that the previous owner made, maybe not that Mike Goodman made. Maybe Mike Goodman did do 4 inches to a point.
Have you ever gone out and looked at those pipes?
The previous owner installed
that are coming out of the ground? There's 2. I don't know if that.
Yeah, no, that's different. Just like with us, Mike installed the tank. I did the pipe. Aha. I didn't think of that. So
I thought that.
So maybe the previous owner made the decision to go down to 3. So again, it's what I have. And the only way to change the whole thing to 4, I guess, would be to dig up the whole thing and replace it. And I don't think that necessarily makes sense. So
no.
So anyway,
that'll take you forever.
So everybody's saying don't skimp on plumbing, but again, I have what I have. So I mean, am I supposed to dig it up? I have what I have. 3 is cheaper. Sure, it is.
Well. Again,
I'm literally sweating just thinking about this. By the way,
wait. If it's 3, then I would stick with 3 because we might not even use a flush toilet most of the time.
That's true. We might not. Where's the tank located?
So yonder.
It's you know, it's as you come up our driveway towards our trailer.
By the big crack.
It's off to the right. It's over past the little garden area there. And as far as distance, I'm gonna say.
Oh, I see, Warren.
It's yeah. As far as distance, it's, I guess it's under, it might be around 100 feet. Probably a little under 100 feet. If you're asking, Bill, if you're asking about what I would have to take out, I think it's probably in the neighborhood of 100 feet.
It's not worth it. I mean.
Because, I mean, again, starting from scratch, I agree with everybody saying, you know, don't skimp on plumbing, go big or go home. I get it. I would have the same opinion, but I'm not starting from scratch. I have what I have. So I have to decide, do I leave what I have and connect to it? Do I try and change something?
Yes.
So
leave what you have.
So anyway, so the short answer is exactly.
That's
Screw
right.
it, not worth it. The short answer is I said we have 3-inch. I'm using 3-inch. I had a hard time finding PVC, so I went to ABS. And it sounds like maybe all I need to change is to add that Fernco device rather than gluing those together. And if I hadn't read the code, I wouldn't have known that. And maybe no one would have ever known or cared. But I found it interesting that the code said not to do that.
I think Mike Goodman is hard to get a hold of.
I like it, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike Goodman is tough to get a hold of.
And it might look at
that's where we are.
the paperwork. Maybe it'll say.
That's where we. I think Bill is totally right. Stop reading the code.
That's what I told him.
Listen. I actually don't check it all that often because it's quite hard to read if you're not familiar with it. It's hard to read. But every once in a while, when I have a question and I can't get answered some other way, and I just think, what if I looked in the code just out of curiosity? And a lot of times it's hard to find that stuff at all. But today I found it, and it was very specific. Which, by the way, I'll mention another thing that I read in the code. This isn't a bad thing or anything, but I think I shared it with Don the last time we saw him. But again, about plumbing, I was having a conversation with my friend Craig, and he asked me something about what would Bill do with WWBD. It was about the slope. And I've known, it's fairly common knowledge to anyone, even if you haven't done plumbing or if you do the simplest little Google, right, that the slope for these pipes is a 1/4 inch per foot. It's fairly common knowledge, and it's not that hard to find that out if you go looking. But again, to the code, I didn't know this. I read the code, and there is a very specific line or a couple lines in the code that say that up to, I think it's up to 2.5 inch pipe, the code says a 1/4 inch per foot. For 3-inch and above, they say you can do 1/8 of an inch per foot. So I don't know if anybody else has ever seen that or knew that, and I think I'm right. I mean, I think that's what the code said, but I was surprised. We're still going a 1/4 inch per foot, but just FYI, that was interesting.
Don said Goodman doesn't keep on installing the whole pipe.
He made sure I knew that. He just does a stub out from the septic tank. So yeah,
yes,
absolutely. Hey, Timmy.
Oh, it's Tim.
Again, Bill and Don, absolutely right. I hadn't thought about that. I'm sure you guys are right. Now, I wasn't here when it was installed, but I'm sure you guys are right that Mike stops right there, and it probably was 4-inch. And it's probably the previous owner who decided, probably for price, to go 3-inch pipe the rest of the way.
Stick with 1/4 inch.
Yes, I agree, Bill. We are going with the 1/4 inch. I just thought it was interesting that was another thing that when I read the code, I saw something that I was not aware of, which was they say that you can go 1/8 of an inch on the bigger pipes. I'm not going to, but it was interesting.
Tim, we're talking about pipes.
Yeah. And yeah, just in case,
plumbing.
Warren makes a good point. The simple kind of explanation of all this when it comes to slope is, to put it in very simple terms, if your slope is too steep, your liquids will outrun your solids, and your solids will get left behind. So that's the reason for the slope, being a little bit so that things will run, but not too much, because if it's too much, the water will go or the liquid will go and the solid won't. So
that's not good.
So that's
Hi, Ascension Ranch.
Ascension Ranch, welcome. So anyway, lots of plumbing talk there. Obviously, I'm not a plumbing expert, but that did. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the conversation.
Yes, we want those solids.
I think we're okay. Out. Again, if I was doing it from scratch, some things might be different, but I'm not. So I'm going to stick with what I've got. I do think I'll go get the extra device instead of making that glue connection. Just that'll make me sleep better at night, that I think I'm following the code there. Regardless of whether anyone will ever see it or know it or ask.
It's a code.
But it's their code. Who's hungry? So anyway, that's what's going on.
That's what's happening. So
that's what's happening.
Next week we'll be putting up bales, I'm sure.
So hopefully, it is. And maybe if I need the Fernco, I mean, I'm trying to figure out if the trip to Sierra Vista is necessary. If I can just run into town and get it, I'm trying to figure out how quickly I can put this thing together. So
You have to
because
take that
again,
other
it's
stuff.
stopping me from making my next step.
Do
So
you have to take the other stuff back that you got?
No.
Do you have to take something back?
no, we're
or
gonna
you
keep
still-
it. We're gonna keep it.
Are you gonna use it?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That's what this whole conversation was about. I mean, again, starting
Okay.
from scratch, maybe a couple of different choices, but because we are where we are, we're gonna just go with it.
All right.
But I need that one piece. So after we do that, we can. They should have it.
That's good.
I believe I can probably get it into town, and if I feel pretty confident that this is the right thing, I probably
hearing
don't have to
things.
go.
Do you hear that? Did you hear
You
that?
have to ask if you need a hub or a no hub, Fernco. Interesting. I wonder if that. We're shifting. Hey, Billy. Hi, Bill.
Hey, we're almost done, Bill. Billy.
Billy just missed all the
Billy
poop talk.
Roberts.
He would love that.
Oh yeah. Craig would attach
You are right.
2 pipes with an old soup can.
Right. Too bad Craig's not here. Brian, B.
where's Craig?
Avondale. Brian is right.
Oh, I know.
Craig would do it with an old
Craig's
soup
packing
can.
to go to Hawaii.
Maybe. Okay, so I might have to look into that hub versus no hub, or maybe I will make the drive to Sierra Vista, especially if they have mulch, which they didn't have the last time we checked.
Yeah.
So
where's all the mulch?
yeah,
all
they
the
told us
mulch
they wouldn't have mulch till the end of the month. We like to get
Free mulch.
a load of mulch every time we go to Sierra Vista. It's really nice. But okay, well, thanks everybody for all that talk. I'm sorry if I beat a dead horse there, but that again, it just happened today. It's kind of raw and it kind of freaked me out, but I think I feel a little better about it. These are the things I worry about because it's scary when you don't know. You know, some of you guys know better, and you seems like not a big deal, but it was a big deal to me.
The window. That's
where all the mulches.
The mulches.
Yes, we took it all.
Oh, that's where the mulch is.
David Edward Tolson in Korea.
Hey.
Lunchtime.
David, we're just about done, but we're wrapping up.
Done. We talked about plumbing a bunch.
Yeah, we're getting the bales tomorrow. For those of you who didn't hear that, when I think of Sierra Vista, I think of mulch.
So
we didn't talk about poop.
I think
Other
that's about
people talked about.
So once I get that pipe in, our next
What's wrong?
Easily our next week or two will be spent filling tires because we have to go 2 layers of tires.
Thank you.
And we're gonna have to do some backfill in the meantime as well to kind of backfill the pad. Yes.
Fernco.
So I think that should do it. Does anybody have any questions? Not that I can answer them about what we're doing. Yeah. Filling tires, on top of the tires, a sill plate, and then bales.
We got to get out earlier because the winds come around 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
They mostly come at night. Mostly. Alien.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, that should be it. What did I miss?
I'm tired.
Northwest to Southwest. Thanks for stopping in.
Terry and Michelle.
Thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks for everybody for subscribing.
How many
if you didn't catch it, we just hit 4,000 about a week ago. So thanks everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna freeze again up
here. We're getting
how many bales?
We're getting 120 bales. That should be a little over what we need, I think. So that was basically, I estimated that just by doing the whole perimeter without cutting out anywhere for doors or windows, and that actually was slightly bigger than our perimeter. So
no mulch, Don. No mulch until the end of the month. They say.
Yep.
Pretty windy,
but I need some at some point. Yeah. So they're
out
of mulch. They say they're out of mulch till the end of the month.
Just got here. So. Yeah. That's okay, Chad. We're getting our straw bales tomorrow.
Snow coming tonight. I'm sure it is up north.
It's just me, Tom C. Hey, Tom.
From Mesa. Welcome
Shalom.
from Mesa.
Hey, my son lives and daughter live in Mesa also.
We bought 122, ended up with 20 extra. I think we'll be in that ballpark.
Well, we always need straw for
Sure. And
this, that, and the other.
you'll use it for, you need it for
cobbing.
plaster.
Plaster.
So
I can't wait to see it also. Just to get the bales.
Pam's not in a hurry at all.
I'm really happy about that.
So yeah, we're close. We're getting close. But I have to get past this piping thing. So thanks everybody.
It'll pass. Kind of like Billy's kidney stones. Billy's always passing those kidney stones.
So, well, do you have anything else?
No.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's funny.
I never shut up.
All the time.
According to him. And you see who did most of the talking. Wait, did I just scratch you?
I just scratched my leg. I don't know if Common Man's Tom's trying to just give us a hard time.
That's like a bad burrito.
But yeah, 120 for our perimeter stacked 4 high. We're actually going to stack them on edge. So yeah, it should be 120 should be more than enough. So.
Come on, moderators. Yes, we're getting what are the sizes of each bale? Billy wants to know the size.
A bale is, they differ a little, but thanks everybody for a thumbs up.
Thank you.
A bale is generally, the bales we get are generally, let's see, the way we're going to place them, we're actually going to stand them up on their side, like I said. They'll be about 14 inches thick. Bill, correct me if I'm wrong. They'll be about 14 inches thick. They'll be about 2 feet tall. And they're almost 4 feet long. I think they tend to be about 44, 45. So, and of course they all have a little bit of variation, right? But I think those are the general sizes. They're almost 2 feet by 4 feet, but they're just a little short, I think, of 4 feet. And then they're about 14 inches thick, but we're going to turn them. So essentially our walls will be 14 inches thick plus plaster. So
heavy versus heavy.
And I guess they weigh,
yes.
Bill says correct. Thank you. I think they weigh 70, 80 pounds, I think.
Thank you, Don.
So I couldn't remember.
What? If you look up my Etsy, if you want to find my Etsy shop, if you go to Google and put in all one, Pamela Price Art. For some reason, Etsy makes you do it that way. All in one, no spaces. Pamela Price Art. And then you should be able to find it.
It's also in the description of all of our videos on.
Oh, that's true.
On Midlife Prices, and I think we finally got it into yours, even though some of your older ones might not have.
Yeah, if you go over to my.
So if you check the description on any of our videos, you should see a link to her Etsy. So. Bill confirms. Thank you, Bill. Bill's had experience with these bales, so yeah. So that's what our bales are like. Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Hopefully we'll have more to report next week. Hopefully we'll have a big stack of bales outside, and hopefully we'll have gone beyond this piping issue, so that we're actually working the more tires.
I will try. I'll try to put out a video like tomorrow after we do the bales. Any bales on the inside? So well, no, we'll probably do cob walls.
That's a valid question, Bill. Yeah, so we are, at least for the moment, our plan is for our interior walls, to be Adobe. So, and that's, well, number one, it's cheap, of course, but we can actually make bricks here. But
they will. They're going to be done. I'm pushing it.
We can actually make bricks here, and the hope is that we can get a little bit of passive heating and cooling by having earth inside the house. That's one of the reasons that I wanted an earthen floor, and also the earthen walls. Now, I'm not sure how much the walls are going to get hit, depending on kind of how the sun comes in, because we're only going to have like 2 walls, basically, one for the bedroom and one for the bathroom. Those will be the only 2 interior walls we're going to have. But we are going to make them out of Adobe, and the hope is that they'll do that kind of battery effect a little bit like an Earthship does, to kind of store and release heat, to hopefully help us out. So that's our plan.
Everybody's
for the
leaving.
walls. Thank you, everybody. Billy asked one more question. So
Oh,
thanks everybody for coming.
Thank
We'll see
you.
you next week. We
we'll see
appreciate
y'all,
everybody stopping
and I'll
in.
try to get a video out of those straw bales tomorrow.
We'll talk to you soon. Good night, all.
Night, y'all.